Imagine a brilliant new electric car entering the current market with an incredibly cheap price. This single amazing vehicle has the absolute power to completely change the entire automotive game. We are deeply discussing an incredibly affordable machine that is preparing to shock everyone soon. For a very long time, major companies have tried slowly making electric vehicles truly affordable, but suddenly a massive new global player enters directly at a surprisingly low price point. These gorgeous cars are never just cheap, but remarkably strong in modern technology and range. This is exactly where the actual story of this massive market disruption truly begins today. This massive company is never merely launching a car, but bringing a completely new strategy. If this truly happens, your entire automotive market will completely transform within 3 short years. Behind this massive market change is a brilliant company making extremely quiet but powerful moves. A global brand known to very few people here prepares to directly challenge big players. But the absolute real question remains whether they can replicate massive global success right here. Let us carefully explore the specific amazing models this brand plans to launch very soon. Today, if you seriously think about buying an electric vehicle, the high price stops you. From the outside, battery-powered vehicles look like the perfect future, saving expensive liquid fuel. Everyone knows the regular daily maintenance remains extremely low compared to traditional dirty petrol cars. But stepping inside the shiny modern showroom makes you step back after seeing the price. This remains the truly harsh ground reality that every single common buyer feels very deeply. You must absolutely be wondering why these modern battery cars remain so incredibly expensive today. The absolute biggest fundamental reason behind this heavy cost is simply the massive battery pack. Nearly 40% of the total heavy vehicle cost goes directly into making that battery. Producing these advanced batteries requires imported raw materials, which are absolutely never truly incredibly cheap. Furthermore, massive local battery manufacturing is still developing, pushing the final retail prices much higher. Heavy government import duties and massive local taxes on foreign components push final prices upward. Simply put, the completely brand new technology and limited local supply chains make everything expensive. This sadly keeps amazing electric vehicles sitting slightly above the tight budget of average families. Now let us carefully observe exactly who is currently winning this massive electric race today. Currently, very famous local brands hold the absolute strongest grip over the entire electric segment. Their familiar compact cars have successfully built massive public trust regarding everyday practicality and use. Normal buyers strongly prefer them because the service network is huge and prices remain manageable. On the completely opposite side, premium foreign brands are also fighting hard in this space. They offer incredible passenger comfort and great road performance, but naturally charge higher premium prices. So right now, we can clearly see a massive division across the entire automotive market. One famous brand captures the masses, while others specifically target buyers wanting expensive luxury features. But here finally arrives the absolute most fascinating part regarding the daily problems of buyers. No matter exactly which famous company makes the vehicle, the modern buyer shares exact worries. The absolute biggest, terrifying fear is the driving range and getting stuck on lonely highways. This dark, negative thought constantly echoes inside the anxious mind of every potential electric buyer. Even with completely decent range, normal people lack true confidence without reliable charging stations everywhere. The second massive daily hurdle is the actual charging process compared to filling liquid fuel. Traditional, dirty petrol pumps exist everywhere, but public charging stations remain quite limited outside cities. Living inside a massive, modern metro city makes things slightly easier for daily commuting routines, but taking very long highway road trips requires deep, careful planning about multiple charging stops. Considering all these extremely annoying practical hurdles, many normal people still seriously hesitate to switch. The third major important factor is time, as traditional dirty cars fill up in minutes. Modern electric cars unfortunately demand 40 heavy minutes, even when connected to ultra-fast chargers. People living a remarkably fast modern lifestyle find this waiting period extremely frustrating and inconvenient. Finally, we must deeply, carefully consider the absolute most practical point, which is upfront cost. Yes, driving completely on battery power saves massive fuel money over a long ownership period, but happily paying that massive initial heavy amount is exactly what stops regular people today. Average middle-class buyers strongly think they can buy a reliable petrol car completely tension-free. This perfectly clearly explains why the massive electric market is still trapped in transition phases. Regular people completely understand the green, sustainable future, but daily ground reality remains highly challenging. Now, please carefully hear one very specific, powerful name that might sound completely new today. The absolute most interesting fact is that this massive global giant remains virtually unknown here. You might very easily completely assume this is a brand new startup, but reality shocks. This massive, powerful corporation actually started decades ago designing highly advanced internal battery cells first. They entirely dominated the exact internal component that acts as the beating heart of electrics. They bravely entered this highly specific battery game more than 20 long years ago beautifully. They built such incredible technical engineering experience that they entered vehicle markets completely light years ahead. Today, they firmly, proudly stand as one of the absolutely largest vehicle manufacturers on Earth. They have consistently successfully beaten the most famous American electric brands in global sales volume. In massive, huge global markets, you will spot their stunning vehicles dominating absolutely every category. This incredible absolute market dominance did not happen overnight, but was built through pure execution. Behind their massive global success lies a brilliant strategy of producing absolutely everything entirely in-house. They boldly, beautifully build their own massive batteries, powerful electric motors, and advanced processing chips. This brilliant, perfect vertical integration dropped their production costs massively while heavily boosting innovation speeds. While other major famous brands cry over supply chains, this quiet company operates entirely alone. This specific, highly powerful ability allows them to create incredibly cheap models, crushing premium segments. Comparing them directly to the most famous American electric brand reveals a truly fascinating contrast. One brand constantly survives on heavy media hype, loud executive tweets, and incredibly massive promises. The other, completely different brand works completely silently in deep shadows, delivering massive, steady growth. The famous noisy brand masters public marketing, while this quiet giant completely masters production scale. Sometimes the absolute most incredibly dangerous player in the entire game remains entirely invisible always. You might simply assume they are completely new here, but they dominate many foreign regions. They slowly, steadily expand everywhere, using a brilliant silent entry before heavily pressuring local competition. We are clearly, deeply witnessing this exact brilliant global pattern repeating itself right here today. When a massive global company controlling worldwide batteries enters the mass market, the impact terrifies. Let us deeply, perfectly discuss the specific cheap model that will completely shatter entire markets. Hearing the incredibly basic name makes people imagine a tiny basic car with terrible features. The real absolute stunning shock arrives when the stunning $10,000 price is revealed. Imagine painfully spending almost exactly double that amount right now just getting basic electric options. If this gorgeous, incredibly cheap model arrives, it beautifully stops being a car, becoming disruption. You must truly seriously wonder if this incredibly low price means terrible quality and features. This is absolutely perfectly exactly where the brilliant engineering game of this silent giant begins. The car proudly completely offers a gorgeous touchscreen, fantastic daily range, and surprisingly excellent quality. The final amazing retail price stays incredibly low, but the actual driving experience never drops. Imagine the massive, terrifying shockwaves when this specific stunning vehicle finally launches for the public. Advanced green battery technology will suddenly become extremely accessible to the absolute common working class. People merely quietly dreaming of a clean green future will suddenly sprint toward nearest showrooms. The second massive terrifying impact will crash heavily onto all the currently dominant local manufacturers. They will desperately, painfully struggle to justify their incredibly expensive models against this stunning marvel. This brilliant, completely beautiful vehicle will forcefully push the entire industry to offer affordable pricing. The third massive, beautiful change will perfectly transform the entire psychological mindset of average consumers. Electric cars will suddenly perfectly transform from risky premium experiments into perfectly normal everyday choices. This single, highly advanced vehicle has the absolute power to beautifully democratize green driving experiences. It will perfectly smoothly transition exactly like smartphones did, moving from luxury to absolute necessity. However, a remarkably vital reality check is highly necessary because hitting that exact price fails. Local strict import duties and heavy massive local taxes will temporarily push the final price. Even slightly more highly expensive, it entirely remains significantly cheaper than absolutely everything currently dominating. Now let us carefully, deeply shift toward the massive segment where the real game happens. The highest massive public demand clearly remains perfectly fixed on practical, family-sized utility vehicles. These massive, highly spacious vehicles represent the absolute ultimate dream for single working middle classes. This specific, amazing, quiet brand perfectly targets this sweet spot, offering massive space alongside savings. Imagine switching your extremely expensive petrol family vehicle for a silent electric marvel, saving thousands. Winning the massive heavy utility segment means automatically winning half the absolute entire market battle. But this incredibly ambitious brand is also brutally attacking the absolute highest premium luxury segments.
It demands attention. The new ultra-premium sedan has arrived.